Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Spritz. Welcome back to Spritz Bitz. I haven't done this in a while, and I have a lot to talk about in this one. This is going to be about the latest Cube World tweet from Wale, and then the state of video games and how they're being developed and released to the public compared to the way they were back in like the early 2000s and the 90s. So today, Wale, if you don't follow Cube World, I don't have you don't have, there's no reason to because the game is never going to get updated ever again. But if you don't follow it, it is a third-person voxel RPG game. It has a lot of inspiration from Minecraft and Zelda. It's like a combination of both those things. It's made by one guy and his wife, and it is very well done. I have the game. It's been available for almost 4 years. It's a very fun game to play, but it's in, I think, probably alpha, I think is what he's called it. I think it's an alpha. But being an alpha, it's pretty well done. Like, there's virtually no bugs. There's a couple of things, but, like, it's mostly playable. And it looks great. It's an awesome game. It's made in C++ instead of Java like Minecraft was. But it only got one update a couple weeks after it came out, and that has not been updated since then. You had to buy it when the game first came out. It was $20. There hasn't been an update for almost 4 years. The creator will tweet something like once every month or two. He'll tweet something. He'll show you either a new video or he'll show you a picture or things like that, or he'll tweet about new music that he's put in the game, something like that. But he is very hard to get a hold of. His contact is very hard to, he's just very hard to reach out to. And he doesn't give any information. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's very mysterious. You cannot get a hold of him at all. And that is the result of, and I'm not going to say Minecraft was the, Minecraft is the source of this problem. It really is. But it's not the first game to do the alpha beta release model. Tons of games used to do that a long time ago. Games used to be, we're going to alpha test it. Normally alpha testing was internal. It happened within the developers and the company making the game. And then beta testing, you could have been invited to some games. In fact, a long time ago, probably like almost 10 years ago, I think, I was invited to play Lego Universe. I was still in college at the time, so it's been a long time. That was probably about 8 or 9 years ago. I got invited to play Lego Universe in the beta. Back then, when you had to be invited to, and you still have to be invited to some betas, but back then when betas were very rare, when you were invited to a beta, you could put that on a resume. You could say, yeah, I was a beta tester for this game. I was invited to play this game. That was like an exclusive, that was like a privilege. Now, so many games go into alpha, beta, release. Early access is what everybody calls it. There's so many games that do that it's no longer a privilege. You're no longer, you're not earning anything by becoming a beta tester of a game. Minecraft was the first game to become incredibly successful using this model. Tons of games in the past have done it. Mostly AAA games did it, but it wasn't a public beta or a public alpha. It was all internal within the company. But Notch said he's going to release the game in alpha for a discounted price. You buy the game at the development level that it's at now, you get it for a discounted price, and then all updates are free. Everybody's like, sweet, that's cool. I bought it for $13 when it came out. So everybody's jumped on board that. They're like, I'm going to buy this game for $13 and then just all the updates are free. I have no expectations for the game. I'm just, as it gets updated, I'll play it. Back then, and that wasn't that long ago, what's 2017 now? That was probably about 8 years ago. Back then, you didn't really have expectations of video games because that wasn't a thing. It wasn't common to see games go from alpha, beta, release. So when you're in an early access game, you're like, okay, I know there's not going to be a lot of content in here. Okay, whatever. Now every game is like that. We've gotten used to every game being in early access. Even AAA games are in early access now. That when a game is released to us in early access, we're just conditioned to believe that's the finished game. That is what we're releasing to the public for you to play. This is it. And so we believe that it's finished or mostly finished. So we play everything we can during early access and the game sucks. There's not a lot of content, things are broken, and then you never come back to the game. Well, with Cube World, the creator made the game and he did it for like 2 years and then released the game. Everybody freaked out. Everybody was playing the game. It was awesome. The game ran really well. It still runs really well, but he didn't update it. Everybody got real upset because they spent $20 on the game and he never updated it. It has now been almost 4 years, and today he tweeted. Now, it hasn't been 4 years since he last tweeted, but the last time he tweeted was in November. It is now April 1st. And this was a legitimate tweet. It was not April Fool's. He showed actual content of the game, stuff that no one has seen yet. But he hasn't updated the game. He hasn't released an update. It's him updating the game. It's just not available for the public to update their game. So he showed new content. I'll show the videos here while I'm talking. He showed new videos of the ice biome, the snow biome, and some new music and stuff. A couple screenshots, I think, or one screenshot of like the new dungeon map. But now all of the games that we have today are like this. Every game goes into early access, and I can't stand it. I loved when I was a kid, I heard about a game in Electronic Gaming magazine. Electronic Gaming was the magazine I'd get every month. I had my mom subscribe me to it. I had it every month. You'd see the one page that had like all the reviews of like Electronic Gamers writers. They got to test the game early. They gave you their reviews on it. That is the only time you ever heard of a video game like being released. That was it. No, hey, the game's going to be early access. You'll get to play the game, you get demos and stuff, but it wasn't like, here's early access. You get, the first 2 levels of the game, and if it's broken, well, we'll just update it as we go. It wasn't like that. You heard about a game in Electronic Gaming or like in Nintendo Power, and then you got the game when it released. That was it. They just said the release date is, May 15th. Boom. That was it. You're like, okay, cool. I'll wait till May 15th and I'll go buy it. That was it. That's how games would work. Games worked that way. That's how it was. And I totally understand why indie developers do it. Indie developers will early access their game so that they can sort of test the interest. They can see how much interest there is in their game. They create like an early prototype. They sell it for a discounted price. If a ton of people buy it, that funds them for a little while. I totally understand that. But now you don't have to promise anything. There is no guarantee. There is no promise. You could release an early access game today, April 1st, and then you could create a roadmap, a very loose roadmap, and tell people, yeah, the game will be available end of 2017, or it'll be available summer 2018. And then whenever you feel like it, you could just say, no, we got to push it back. Oh, no, we got to push it back. Push it back, push it back, push it back. And then you'll just never release the game, and you'll just get all your money, and then no one can sue you because you didn't guarantee anything. You just said, the game's in early access, you're going to give us money, and if you feel like it, you give us money for the game. You understand that this could never come to fruition. What you're getting is what you're getting, and that's it. That's the problem with our games nowadays. Nothing can ever get finished, and even if they do, who knows if they're going to be good. Perfect example is Mass Effect Andromeda. The game took 5 years, and it's still a terrible game. Triple A game, and it's awful. It's a terrible game. Now, it didn't do I don't think it did the alpha beta release model. I have no interest in Mass Effect. I found it to be pretty generic. I don't think anything about it's pretty great, but I have a friend who's played every single one of them, and then this new one, and it's terrible. The animations are awful. There's so many bugs in the game. The voice acting is awful. It's just a bad game. And so now AAA developers can do the same thing as indie developers. They can say, yep, our game's going into early access. Buy it, at this price, or, we'll invite you to try it out, which is fine if you want to be invited to a game. That's totally cool because you're not spending any money. You're being invited to at least try it out. You understand that that you're not playing a finished game. You have sort of an early access game. That's what it is. It's not finished, but you get to at least get a feel for the game. If you could get into it for free to try it out like a demo, totally fine. But the game there's no guarantee that the game will get finished or the game will be any good. What happened to games just, hey, we're announcing this game on this day and it's going to be released on this day. Done. That is it. What happened to that? Why can't we go back to that? Imagine if there were early access cars, if like car manufacturers had an early access car. You bought the car and it had just the wheels and the frame. The engine was only a V4, wasn't a V6 or a V8. You had no AC or heat. You just had a car with wheels. That was it. It just went from A to B. That was all it did. Imagine if they did that. And then, months down the road, we built the AC. We've thrown the AC in the car now. Come to the manufacturer and get it thrown into your car. Oh, we built the TV screen. We could put the TV screen in your car now. Come out to the manufacturer and, come to your dealership and we'll put it in for you. Imagine if they did that. Early access airplanes, airliners. Oh, yeah, we have an airplane that's got, instead of 100 seating, it's got, 45. Some of the seats in the back haven't been installed yet. The storage above all the seats, only half of them have doors on them. The rest are open. Imagine if they did that. They can't do that. So why is it okay for video games to be this way? Just because like the medium that they're on allows for that? And then we've just kind of accepted the fact that that's how games are now? Obviously things change. Times change, things change, technology changes. But it doesn't mean that it's a good thing to do if nothing gets finished. We need to get to a point where we're like, I'm going to stop buying early access games, or I'm going to stop, pre-purchasing games or pre-ordering games. There was a game I was looking forward to called Skylar and Plux. It looks exactly like, and honestly, it's pretty much ripped off from Ratchet and Clank, because that's exactly what it is. But it's a 3D platformer, very much like Ratchet and Clank, like almost 100% ripped off. But it looks cool, and it's only $15. The full game is $15. Now, it was supposed to release in March. It is now April. They said that they had to push it back to May. I was going to wait for the game to release. I wanted to go on Steam and buy it the day it was available. I was not going to pre-order it, because as soon as I pre-order it and the game doesn't come out the day they say it comes out, they push it back. And now my money's just kind of floating around. My money's just out there. They have it and I don't have anything in return. And then I wait until the release date. And then it gets pushed back again. And then it gets pushed back again. And again, and again, and again. Supposedly the game releases in May. Okay? I will not give them any of my money until I am able to download it the day that I give them my money. I am not going to pre-order the game. I will not early access it, whatever, I will buy it once I can play the full game. And that's what I plan on doing for games in the future. And I think I would like a lot of people to do the same thing. And don't just jump the gun and say, whoa, there's a new game out, I'm going to buy it right away. Look into the game first. Mass Effect Andromeda is a perfect example of why you should not just buy a game because it's available. Final Fantasy 15 is actually kind of a good example too. It's a good game, but there are a couple little bugs where like, really, it took you this long to make this game and it's this bad? Like, really? So I really want to know what you guys think. When you buy video games, do you buy early access as soon as you see a game that you like, or do you wait until the game is fully released and then buy it then? Or do you look into some reviews once it's fully released and then decide whether or not you're going to buy it? Because I'm getting tired of games just stopping with development and never getting released. Another game, really quickly, I don't want this to go on too much longer. Another game that I was looking forward to, I really like voxel games like Minecraft. I've played enough of Minecraft, I can't play it anymore. Another game called Boundless, originally it was called Ort Online, was announced I think in 2014 or something like that. And if you paid early access to get in the game, it was $90. You could get into the game in alpha. There were like 10 people or something, some small number that were in early access that bought it. They said the game was going to be available in end of 2015. It's now almost mid-2017. You can play it on Steam now. It's like $30 now on Steam. It's still in like late beta or something, but nobody plays it. No one plays it. It looks like Minecraft. It's pretty cool. It has portals that go into other servers or other worlds, and it's amazing. But the game doesn't run very well. It's almost in full release, and it's just not done well. And we were told end of 2015, and it's still not done. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I think games like something needs to change. People are going to get tired of buying early access games, and they're never going to give you any money because your game will never get finished. It's ridiculous. I want it to stop. I can't stand it. Cube World is the reason I brought all this up. I want to talk about this because Cube World is an early access game that never got finished. The developer, the creator, took tons of money from people and never finished his game because there was no guarantee. There never will be a guarantee because that's the only legal way he can just sell his game. It's ridiculous. But that's all I got. I hope I covered all my bases there. I know there was a lot of things I jumped around a lot. I hope I covered everything. But if there's anything you want to ask me or you want to talk about this discussion at all, whatever, leave it in the comments. I will try to get back to you with anything I can. I just want to know what you guys think about video games and how they're going and how you decide to buy your games. But that is all I've got. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you'd like to. I heard the like button is broken. But that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. That's the way it is.